right. Well, there's a lot of big headlines. Let's just jump in. Um, the breaking news is Remax apparently is being sold to Real as of this morning. I think this is going to be a complete hot mess. Real is not a franchise company, and to buy a franchise company that's not in alignment with the structure of your current company, it's got to be a just disaster. What do you think?
Remax agents are some of the most independent agents out there. To go under somebody else's banner, I tend to agree with you. I look at it gives us an opportunity to talk to Remax agents now.
Well, I think the funny thing is it's been a rumor for 9 months that KW was supposed to buy Remax, and apparently we passed. I don't know. Anyway, hit the newsreel this morning. All right, industry stats. There's an article I want to start with before we jump into the numbers on Housing Wire this week. It says housing demand shockingly positive even as the Iran war continues. Um, those of you that might have got this ahead of time, what's your thoughts on this?
It has more to do with the interest rates coming back down from where they jumped up than it does with what's going on in the geopolitical world.
I think there's a sad reality to this that the consumer is not as affected or is almost numb to it, maybe. Is that fair to say? That they're not. I think if you rewound the clock 20 years ago and we had this same conflict, the consumer would probably have been more in a hyper panic mode, but they're not.
I
I
think
don't
we
know.
live in a
Thoughts?
society where if it doesn't affect you personally immediately, people don't pay attention to it.
Which the
Yeah, I
I
think
think
the
that could
biggest
be.
issue is grocery store pricing.
Yep. I think I think
People
it's a sad
people only
reality.
pay attention. Yeah.
Go ahead, Nadine.
No, I was going to say people can't pay attention to anything for more than 3 weeks anyway, and we're past that.
I think it's a sad reality socially, and it's probably a positive thing for our industry in a sense. Meaning our industry is moving forward with or without conflict resolution globally right now. And I'm looking at preliminary numbers for April. We're selling a lot of houses in April.
Mm.
So my feeling is good, but I'm just curious, are you feeling the demand picking up like a normal spring market demand? Those of you that have been around a while, we're we're rounding out the first trimester. What are you feeling?
I still challenge that we don't have a spring market, that our season isn't like the rest of the country. It just goes all year round. Particularly on the east side, because people here don't move because of schools. Um,
Yep.
and I mean, if it's just like any other time, you price it right, it's going to sell. The condo market is still challenging, but homes, we put a house on the market on Friday. I think Luis had like something like 13 people through yesterday at the open house. We already have one offer and we're waiting for four.
If you're looking tracking the weekly pending sales, this black line spiked over the last 2 weeks, considerably more than what 2024 and 2025 was. So
Wow.
positive news in spite of it all, which I gotta believe, to Richard's point, is interest rate driven. So anyway, just food for thought before we jump into the numbers. I like a little context instead of just looking at numbers. So let's jump into these. So active status changes, April 27th, 7-day total, Broward County, single family, 812. So there's a little less inventory flying at the market over the last 7 days compared to the previous 2 weeks, but not too far off where we were. I'm loving the coming soon number. It looks like a lot of people are getting ready. We had 224 go under contract and 169 pending, which speaks to that demand conversation because that's an increase right there, right? 265 closed out, and my Zoom window's in the way. And we're still seeing a considerable amount cancel, but historically it's always been in the 30% range anyway. So I don't know. Let's keep going. Broward County condos, 962 active status changes last 7 days. Same comment. Previous 2 weeks were greater, but we're consistent with where we were previous to that. There's still a lot of coming soon. 113 went under contract, 100 pending. So we had a little less demand maybe in the condos over the last 7 days, but more demand in single family in Broward County. 193 closings, and still obviously big expired canceled numbers coming out of the condo market, Broward County. If I jump down to Miami-Dade, 752 active status changes, single family. Obviously, similar comment. Not as many coming soon. 160 went under contract and 183 pending, which if you put these together, that's 343. This is ironically 343. So the exact same numbers over the last 2 weeks. And then 211 closed out. Let's see, Miami-Dade condo. 990, big number coming on the market. Miami-Dade condo. 119 went under contract and 162. So right away in Broward and Miami-Dade, we'll check Palm Beach here in a second. Single family demand went up. Condo demand slightly went down. 176 closed, and then still high numbers in the expired canceled. Let's check Palm Beach. Palm Beach, same story, active status change, 783 coming on the market, a little lower than what we've been seeing in terms of new inventory, but there's 42 sitting in coming soon, which seems to be a high number. 283 and 126. So holding true, the demand on single family is up. Closings 298. Normal numbers on the expired canceled. Palm Beach condos 714 active status. 125 and 92. So maybe the demand is a little bit higher in Palm Beach on condos than it was previously, or neutral. For Miami-Dade and Broward, it went slightly backwards. And then 184 closings. Not as many canceled expired condos in Palm Beach. Richard Bass, our resident expert, talk to me.
From the contracts I'm seeing, yeah, single family homes are staying strong. I'd like to hear from our crowd here as to what they think is going on with the condo market. That's kind of odd for them to not move in sync with each other. The condo market seems to have pulled back in the last 2 weeks. What's going on there, guys?
It's fear. It's the changes with the 15% reserve now from Fannie Freddie. There's just more challenges in financing condos. And if you start looking at the blacklist, more and more condos are not financeable.
But has that changed just in the last week or two, Dave?
I don't know if
How long ago with oh God, I don't know. I should speak to them. I do commercial real estate. No, I really strongly believe in this coffee.
I don't know who's talking.
Here, I'll just use my.
All right, keep going. Somebody else.
I don't think it's recent. However, my experience lately is that some of these communities are not being forthright with what's going on with the community. Meaning, if it's a non-financeable, you're not finding that upfront, which you should from the listing agent. And so consequently, it as my dad would use the term, you feel like you're chasing a ghost. So you're having to, bypass that community and then go on to the next.
Yep.
I'm in agreement with
I
that.
think
It's hard to get
I
the
also think,
information.
Yeah. Yes, very much so.
I'd like to weigh in on that. What I'm finding with the condos is a lot of people are not liking the new condo association payment per month, because what they're saying is, oh my God, a lot of them have gone up significantly. 700 is kind of average now, 700. And a lot of the buyers are saying, oh my gosh, that's too much. Like, what do I get for the 700? And how come it's so much? Because the insurance on these buildings have driven the monthly amount up. So if the state can get a handle on the insurance, we can bring the insurance down, then the condo association payments are going to come down. But that's driving a lot of it too.
So, and I don't know if anyone else is experiencing this, but I'm going to say the last four condos that I've shown have changed their credit score requirements, and they seem to be raising them. So even if it was 700 before, now it's 710. If it was 630 before, now it's 700. So, and that's making it very difficult in a market where a lot of people, this is just my thought, a lot of people are relying on their credit cards for living expenses. So if you're in a certain price point, that's really going to affect your ability to purchase something, because it's affecting everyone's credit. So it seems like people's credit scores are going down, and a lot of condos are raising their requirements. I don't know if anyone...
I think consumer debt's gone up too,
Yeah.
Katie, which has probably caused the credit scores to go down a little bit. Go ahead, Paige.
Yeah, thanks. I just have a question, Brett. The coming soon, under contract and pending, does that include properties that have already been plus the new ones, or is it strictly the ones that went under contract or went pending within the last week?
Within the last week.
Okay, thank you.
So we track a 7-day change.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And coming soon is like Luke pulled these numbers this morning, and it's how many properties are sitting in coming soon status as of this morning.
Okay.
Perfect. Maxwell.
So I had a client that I spoke to in a listing appointment. He had paid $53,000 in reserves last year, and then this year it went up to $83,000 in reserves because a lot of people seen how much the reserves was going up, and they just left the condo. So they just left them with all the backlash. So maybe a lot of this stuff is coming from people not wanting to pay these associations and just saying, I don't want to deal with it and just leave it alone, because that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
But it's not just one thing either. Oh, sorry, Brett. It's not just one thing. It's the fear factor. They're afraid of the maintenance payments because they're high, and they say they can only go up, right? They're hearing about assessments. They're hearing about massive assessments. There's a lot of negative buzz about condos right now. So what I'm telling my buyers is, look, if we find one where the milestone inspection has already been done, the assessment has already been levied, things are already taking place, concrete restoration is already taking place, then you remove a lot of the fear factors. But it's definitely a whole conversation that you have to have with the buyers, and helping them to feel comfortable, because it's not just one thing. It's like the maintenance, the assessment, the insurance. It's a lot of fear factors involved, and you just have to work to try to calm those fear factors down. and help them to feel confident again about, hey, buying a condo is not as bad as what I've been hearing. That's what I'm experiencing.
It's a lot of vetting on our part if the listing agent doesn't supply it.
Yep. Dave?
So a couple of things, particularly with first-time buyers, people looking to get into the market. There's so much opportunity in condos right now that's, I don't want to say that's what we need to be pushing them toward, but that's maybe some guidance that we can give them. Get into this, live here for a couple of years, earn some equity, trade up on it. At the same time, we have to have the conversations where people are, when they're afraid of condos and they're afraid of assessments, the conversation is, well, if you own a single family home, you still have an assessment. If the roof leaks and you have to fix it, that's an assessment. If your water heater blows up, that's an assessment. So reframing the way you look at a condo and the possibility of an assessment. Also, when I'm taking listings, I'm asking the client, because everyone is supposed to have a portal now. Not everyone does, but every association is supposed to have a portal. Let's go in there together, pull down every document that we need, every document that you need to share. Let's research this together. We're not getting your place on the market for a few weeks because we have a lot of homework to do before we do so. So I think that the more prepared we are as a listing agent on a condo, the easier that condo is going to be to sell.
So Dave, question, just since you're talking, has AI made it easier?
I don't know. When the consumer is using AI, the seller can say, am I doing the right thing by selling this house at this? And the AI is going to say, no, you can get more. And the buyer is going to look at it and say, am I paying too much for this house? And the AI is going to say yes. So it really depends on.
Well, hang on. I guess my question
on how
is,
it's programmed.
Is AI made it easier to get the information of condos?
I have not done that because I'm pulling it directly from the association where you can't vet that everything's correct coming from AI.
I don't disagree with that. I'm just curious if people are. John, you raised your hand pretty quick, so I'm guessing you may have tried.
Yeah, I'm newer. It's helped me recently in that pulling down condo docs of like 180 plus pages or something right now. I'm dropping those into Notebook LM, and it's parsing and reading all that. And I simply type in a question like it's a human, and it answers it based upon those document contents. So that's helped me find out certain questions versus going through it, and it'll cite where in the condo docs it found it from. So that's just been a huge time saver for most recently for me.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit more as far as you say you're dropping it into, like, tell me the process.
Notebook LM is kids. If you have kids, they might be using it now for studying, things like that. It's like Chat GPT, but you can feed it your information, whether it's video, text, PDFs, etc. Drop the sources in, basically. It parses in, reads all through it, and then I can type in questions about the document. Is this document funded, or what are the rental restrictions for this community? I type it in, it pops up, and it cites where it's from, and that's been a huge time for me. Most recently, current transaction that I'm in.
I think what I'm hearing you say, John, is in the past we might have pulled up a PDF and searched the PDF for rental restriction.
Sure.
Now what you're doing is you're putting it in Notebook LM and talking to it like a human. Hey, I'm concerned about rental restrictions. Please tell me.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, Shane, and then I'm gonna move on.
Yeah, I was kind of agreeing with both of them. I think if you're on the listing side of a condo, it is your responsibility and our responsibility to get all of that information up front. And I put it on my seller. I give them a list of everything we need. It should be on their new resident portal. It's not always. And I caveat that with, there's certain things that if we don't disclose to a buyer, like assessments, you're going to be responsible for. But I think as a listing agent, it's our responsibility to have that information because buyers agents are asking. And I know when I'm on the buy side, I have to do a lot of that research up front. I don't want to waste my client's time going to certain buildings if there's an assessment, or if they haven't been through their renovations yet. So I think as a buyer, to do so much more work up front to make sure that we have those answers before we're even showing the property. And I think that as a listing agent, we need to have those answers before we even put that condo on the market. I think there's so many things at play with all the new condo rules that it is going to get harder to sell these properties, especially if your buyer is financing. And I think we have to raise the bar and we have to get that information and know it before we even list it. And a lot of times, agents don't put all of the information in the listing, and then we're running around trying to get answers that they don't have. And we all know that working with condos associations is not, they don't move quickly.
Yep. All right, I'm going to bounce through some of these articles quick. This is a second article about the when you get asked the question, how's the market? I thought it was quite insightful. Most agents answer it's good, it's hot, it's slowing down. But how do you create a deeper level of knowledge base that causes people to move forward closer to you? When you were to answer how's the market, well, let me talk to you about inventory levels and how they've changed. Or let me talk to you about average sales price trends. Or let me talk to you about days on market. Let me talk to you about absorption rates, what's happening in specific price points and neighborhoods. What I love about this is hopefully you're on this call every week and developing these dialogues from what we're going over that gives you a higher level answer to the question, how's the market? Because every real estate agent, that's the number one question you get asked. And I hope you're starting to elevate your language. Is that fair? Around how you respond to that question. I'll let you read that article. There's another article here that says your real estate clients aren't hiring you to be yourself. Authenticity opens the door, but here's what carries the conversations when decisions get difficult. So there's a lead generation aspect about being authentic, but then what breaks down after that it is your knowledge base, right? And I'll let you read this article just for time's sake. But this one was written by a guy named Jeremiah Taylor, who runs a product called Broker Buddy. He's a buddy of mine. And it was kind of shocking when I read it. He said, look, if you're a real estate agent and you understand the value proposition of a real estate agent over time was data. And then data became easily accessible. So for years, agents controlled the information, listings, data, access. Well, that job's gone, meaning people don't need us specifically to get access to the listing information, the data, the access to the property. So our value proposition as a real estate agent has gotten much higher. And AI has really kind of even perpetuated that at a faster pace. People can get the information. So if your value as a real estate professional is information, you need to rethink your value proposition. And it needs to be a higher level. Any quick thoughts on that?
This article has developed over many years, Brett. When the MLS books went onto the internet and then agents had their own websites and IDX, the information is out there. The basic information is out there. That's the importance of you as a realtor becoming a consultant for your clients. It's the interpretation of that information that the general public doesn't understand. Even with AI, they need somebody to help them walk through all of that. Yep. And to me, that's really what this article is all about.
Yep. Vicki, what's your thought? Then Dave.
Good morning. So I just think that we have to remember that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And the bottom line is that until we know what is going to help them and where they're at in their lives, and know if we're understanding their motivation, then AI, all of it, none of it matters. So I think we have to just get back to the basics and the simple.
Dave?
And also the consumer wants confidence. They want to believe that we know exactly what we're doing, and we prove it to them by solving problems that they don't even know that they have yet.
Lisa?
Yeah, so I agree with what Dave said. I actually heard this weekend from two people that they actually bought a house through Zillow. So I didn't get a whole lot of information on that, but they said, yeah, we just click on Zillow, we go ahead and schedule an appointment, and we bought the house straight through there. So I think that there's a segment of the people that want the hand holding, they want the expert, but there's another segment of people that are, jump into AI and asking questions through AI, and they're feeling like they can actually do this themselves, especially if they just, want to call Zillow. And so they'll, I don't know the details, because I was distracted I was at an open house, and that's how I found out. And I was actually a participant at the open house, and, the person was, walked away. But I don't know, how do we combat that, or how do we, compete with that?
Maybe that's a topic at your team meeting this week. I don't think we're going to be able to flesh it out on the call this morning, but
Yeah.
my easy answer is if you were just opening doors or passing information, you're not going to be relevant in the future. It's got to be more than that. It's got to be consultation. It's got to be advice and opinions. It's got to be confidence. It's all those things. All right, I'm going to move forward real quick. So there's an article on Housing Wire that talks about homeownership reshaping the real estate transaction. We've talked a lot about this. We'll put it in circles so you can download it. If you're not aware, the Miami Board of Realtors and Beaches are merging. And this is going to make us the largest board of realtors in the country. What do you need to know? Do you have questions? What are your thoughts? Are you excited about it? Richard, I know you're not going to have to pay 2 broker fees now. You got to be excited, right?
No, I'm excited of having an open line of communications now. The one, I spoke to the president and the CEO of the beaches boards, and they're going to be staying in place. The Miami CEO will be stepping down at the end of this year. She's going to be retiring. One of the things our world has always done, you call them, they answer the phone. If they don't, they'll be back to you immediately. One of my frustrations with the Miami board has always been you email them and you get an autoresponder, they'll be back to you within 48 hours. And it's usually 72 before they do get back to you. So I'm looking forward to the positive effects of this. But I know that Luke is thrilled because this is going to be finally merging all of the data, having everything in one place, no duplications, nothing missing. Now that's going to take a little bit of time for that you're actually going to see that. What I'm trying to work out for all of you guys within the next week or so, I am trying to get somebody to come to all of your team meetings and actually from the board and actually speak to you about what the benefits of this merger is going to be. I'll let the offices know as I get that worked out with them.
Perfect. Joy, you have something quick?
Yeah, the pro is the merger of the boards, then all the data is there. The con is Fort Lauderdale just went through an MLS change and the complaints were ridiculous. So I'm not excited about the change, that part of the change.
Change always ruffles feathers, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Couple other things real quick. You need to know the real estate stats. We have built an entire new portal that is live connected to the MLS and AI powered. And I'm going to show it to you for the first time at
Okay.
the State of the Industry coming up. And it's going to be pretty amazing because, first of all, big kudos to Luke who's built it. And two, I really wanted to have an AI tool that's connected direct to the MLS data that allows you to go in and build listing presentations that are database completely customizable. We've got visions of where it's going to go, but once you add AI to the data, you're going to be able to do some really, really cool stuff. And we'll show it's already built. I'm teasing you because I'm not going to show it to you until the State of the Industry. But we'll give you access to it at that time. Last thing that I think you need to know on the South Florida Business Journal, there's a little bit of a regulatory landmine that's happening with AI. And what's happened is in California, real estate agents must disclose if there's an AI altered listing photo. So if you're taking listing photos and altering them with AI, I don't know that it's a law at the moment, but my opinion, you better put a little watermark on it that says AI altered or something to those degrees because it's potentially a lawsuit, right? Like, there was a story in here. Imagine our disappointment when we walked in the unit to see that no such cabinetry existed. So they AI altered cabinets into a kitchen that was just a shell and didn't disclose that. And I just think AI is doing some really cool stuff, but you better disclose whether or not it's altered or not. It's kind of like photoshopping photos 20 years ago. You better uh, not erase the power lines from behind the house, those kind of things. So, anyways, just FYI, there's your update for Monday. Hope everybody has a good end of the first trimester. I do believe demand is up. So let's go make some money.
Perfect. Thank you, Brett.
Bye,
Have a
guys.
great week.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brett.
You're welcome.